Hey guys, Voltar here, and today I'm going to show you some of my sacred PS1 techniques. Now this video isn't a tutorial per se, but just an overview of how I handle the goods. Now, 95% of the content that I see pertaining to this subject is pretty atrocious. As a matter of fact, most of the content that I found on YouTube is effectively an example of what not to do, with the exception of one video that I found, and I'm pretty sure that I explained to that guy how to do exactly what he did, so that's good. That's always good to see. But at any rate, the Voltar method. It's my method. It's how I do things. Give it a try. I think you'll be quite pleased. Sit back, strap on, and let's begin. Okay, here's the main board. Let's zoom in and take a look. Okay, so we've zoomed in, and the area in which we've zoomed in is the only area we will be working with. There are only two sections on this board that we will be soldering to. 80% of the soldering is going to be right here, right on this controller. There are two other wires that we'll be soldering, which is directly in this area. So here and here, nowhere else on this board matters as far as we are concerned. Now, my method differs greatly from every other diagram and install doc that you've seen by the fact that we aren't grabbing signals from all over the board. Most of that stuff, or 80% of that stuff, as I just said, all is derived from here. So if we can handle a little fine-pitched soldering work, we can knock out the bulk of this process by just focusing here and doing all the work here. So that's pretty much it. That's how you get these short wire things going. That's how you get things looking good and sexual. The other thing that I really encourage people to do is wire all of this up. Get all of your wire runs soldered before putting a micro device anywhere. I'm not really going to get into great detail about that. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to show you what specifically you need to solder to. You can pretty much follow this just by looking at the video. Get out your multimeter and start looking at diagrams and buzzing pins here and pins elsewhere that are marked and annotated on those diagrams. It should take you no more than 5 minutes to do that. So from this point on, there's not going to be any talking. It's just going to be soldering, and it's just going to be all the finish work. So just use this as an example, please. I really think this will help the majority of you, and especially you guys who are making these really shitty YouTube videos with your hot glue and your 15,000 feet conductor runs. So anyways, here we go. Let's get it. So at this point we finished both all the soldering to the drive controller and just the 2 points down here. Now it's at this point where you really want to take your conductors around the drive controller and you want to orient them so that they're in the correct position, or at least the position they need to be in when you fit this chip over top of it. So your conductor 1 here will correspond to pin 1 of the microcontroller, pin 2, pin 3, etc., all the way to 8. And that's another thing. People always are baffled by the fact that when they see pictures of my work, when it comes to this kind of thing, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how there are 8 conductors. I only see 2 wires. Where are those other 8 wires? Well, this is the big secret. This is just how I do it. And to be honest with you, I find this a lot easier than going and grabbing signals all around the damn thing. It does require some fine-pitch soldering work. I just so happen to be really good at fine-pitch soldering work. And why is that? Well, it's because I've done it for years. And if you just sit down and you do some good practicing, you can be really good too. So just work with this stuff, and the more you adopt these certain techniques, the more they're applicable to just about everything that you do. So this I think is a really good exercise. But nonetheless, I've got my conductors here. Everything is pretty well aligned. As you can see, they're kind of tombstoned up here. They're exactly where they need to be. Off camera, I'm going to position the chip over these wires, and we'll pick up from there. Let's do it. Okay, and as you can see here, we have clearly positioned the chip over those conductors, and because we routed those conductors approximately where they needed to be, positioning this chip over all of them was very, very simple. And for the most part, this is pretty much it. The only thing left remaining here is cutting these down, maybe leaving about 1 millimeter of material between this via here and the conductor, so that we can get some good metal exposure, and we'll just solder them up, and this will be all done. So let's get to doing that. Okay, so we went ahead and trimmed up the excess conductors coming off of this SOP to DIP adapter. This is a complete 8-wire install, and this is exactly what it should look like at the end. 8 conductors, where are they? Well, they're hidden, and they're very, very short. 7 or 6 of 8 of these conductors are less than ½ an inch in length. So that's really it, guys. I mean, I've seen a lot of these done, especially a lot of crappy YouTube videos on these. I think they can be done much, much better. You should never, ever have to use hot glue to do one of these, period. As a matter of fact, I'm not even using hot glue to hold this in. Guess what's doing that? The wires. The wires are anchoring this in. So it's really that simple, and it's really that easy, and that's really the conclusion of all this. Use your noggin. Use your noggin when laying things out and when doing things. If it makes sense to you in your head, more than likely it'll make sense to you when you put it on the board. So, having said that, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Super short video, not really a tutorial, just kind of my thoughts on this stuff, and showing you a little bit of how we do things downtown. At any rate, hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and if you enjoyed the video, of course, suggestions down below. And in the next following videos, I think we'll have some longer features. So having said that, Voltar wishes you happy time. Take care for now.